the Princess Gay podcast show, your host, Princess Kingsman. This is part two of trauma. Okay, we're talking about trauma and dealing with childhood traumas before you have kids. Okay, kids are very sensitive. They are extremely sensitive. Just like I said, they're born with clean slates, they're clean sheets. They can either be groomed for the worse or groomed for the better, which is why neglect, not having time for your kids, not spending time with your kids, not playing with your kids, not connecting with them on a deeper level so that they can be able to come and say, oh, mommy, this happened, daddy, this happened. But if your home is governed by fear, and the best way you raise your own kids is with fear, they would never open up to you, and they would never open up to anybody outside of you. Let me tell you what happens when you hit a kid. Okay? When you hit a kid, psychologically, that kid is taking it as they are not loved. They hit me because I can't do anything right. I can't do anything right. I get everything wrong. When you talk down to a kid, you're making that kid feel less than themselves. So which is where self-esteem comes in. What's wrong with me? Why does daddy like to hit me? Why does mommy like to hit me? Why does, the world hate me? Which is where people pleasing comes in. Kids learn people pleasing from a very young age because they've gone through their lives trying to please their parents, trying to please their guardian, whoever that is bringing them up. They try to get validation. Oh, mommy, I did this. Do you like it? Yes, darling, that's very good. Some parents would be like, no, you're dumb, you're stupid. How can you draw that? How can you? When you say that consistently to a child, you're breaking that child's spirit. You're breaking it. And when you don't have time for kids, when you don't sit down with them, talk to them, connect with them, look into their eyes, notice things about them. Are they, slim? Are they putting on weight? Are they taking care of themselves, their hair, their nails, their feet? Are they taking care of, are they happy? Do they have friends in school? Do they have anybody? Like, you need to connect. Let your child be your best friend. That's the best way to establish that bond. Don't get me wrong, they are good parents. I've met good parents, okay? Being a good parent is not about being perfect. I mean, all mothers know that, okay? I think all mothers will agree with me that you don't have to be a perfect parent to be a good parent, okay? We all have our own ways of raising kids. And I can say it's that childhood trauma, it goes a long way. It's bigger than what we imagine it is. It has a bigger effect. It has a bigger effect on us. We just don't want to admit it because we think, oh, it doesn't matter. I'll just make sure I never raise my kid the way my parents raised me. It's easy to say. I'm telling you, it is easy to say, but it's harder to do. Because kids have their own flow, okay? They have their own flow. They have their own way of thinking, seeing things. You could either influence the way that they're thinking in a positive and healthy way, teach them to be appreciative, thankful, grateful for whenever people do things for them. Please and thank you. admitting that they're wrong, telling the truth. And telling the truth comes from home. If your child sees that you are so comfortable with lying, they're gonna lie too. I'm like, well, my mama tells a little white lie, and my dad tells a little white lie. I'm guilty of it myself, so I'm not here judging people. I just want you to understand that trauma has a bigger effect on the mind and the spirit, mentally, psychologically, especially when you grow up among bullies. I've been bullied before. I've been bullied to the point of death, that people wanted to kill me, end me, like that. Turn off the lights. And that's because I shine too bright. And when you shine too bright around people that are not healed, or they're not even aware of their own light, they will want to snuff out your light. They want to blow it out like a candle. Unresolved emotional wounds. How your parents treated you is mostly the way you would treat your own child. Majority of us do it unconsciously. We do it unconsciously. We don't even know we're doing it, but we're doing it. And the only way we would know is maybe if our partner or our friend or a family member is around us and they can see that, oh, the way you're raising your kids is not good. The way you spoke to your child is not good. It has those little effects. And you can easily, when you maltreat a child, it doesn't matter how you do it, you can easily change their perspective on life and the way they look at people, the way they see things. It's because of the way you raised them. That's why everybody you see that, some people can be a bitch, they can be gossipers, they can, they can have really foul spirits that are not good. Vampires, I'm talking energetical vampires who suck on your energy. They like your energetical force, your life force, your soul. So it has a bigger effect. Okay? And most of the time, the way you're raised is the way you raise your kids unconsciously. I've done it before. Let's be real. Okay? And I've had to call myself out. Like, Princess, the way you spoke to your child is not the way, you need to fix it. And since then, I've been self-aware of what I say, what I do, how I react in front of her, especially when I don't get my way or when something is not working for me, or maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I have to deal with my emotions. And the way I deal with it is different. I meditate, maybe when I'm getting really, really angry, and I have other healthy forms of dealing with my emotions, my anger, my dissatisfaction with life. These are real life things. You wake up Monday to Sunday, every day. You're there with emotions, childhood wounds, deep. A lot of us have a deep wound. And I say deep because children, when they are going through trauma, they push it down because it's too painful for them to comprehend, like, why is my own mother, why is my own father, or why is this person that is raising me treating me this way? What's wrong with me? Am I not lovable? That's the first question kids ask. And for a child to be at a certain age, let's say 7 or 8, playing with knives, you could tell that their parents don't care. And I've heard this story of the young teenage mom who went out and left her toddler at home for 3 days, or was it 4 days, to party, because it's either she had support or she didn't have support. And it's either she wanted that kid to die, and that kid did die. Now, the reason why she did that is because she's got unresolved childhood wounds. She's dated men that have made her feel like shit. She was brought up in a home where she never felt loved or cared for or had any physical attention. There was no physical attention, there was no pampering, there was no cuddling. She's a product of her own background. She could have decided to give that child up for adoption if she wasn't ready to raise that child. She could have given that child to somebody that is able to raise her the right way. There's so many ways to do things. You could abort the baby. I'm not here citing people who do abortions anyhow just for whatever sake. I'm talking about people who are not ready to raise a child. Because a child is a different ball game. Let's not even talk about relationships and marriages. It is said that it's similar. When you're raising a kid, it brings out the things that you never thought you had or you've forgotten that you had. Same thing as marriage. Marriage will bring a certain dark side of you out that you never thought you had. That is why you have to be careful who you marry or who you get in a relationship with or who you live with. Because it all has effects on that kid. And if you're a single mom and you have a grown-up child and you have a boyfriend, you have to be careful about that too. You have to be careful about that child around this new guy, because you don't know whether you're dating a sociopath or a psychopath. You don't know who the fuck you're dating. It's just better and easier for you to be able to deal with issues before your kids come in the picture, okay? We are all product of our background. Most of our parents that raised us are not healed either. Our own parents are not healed. They just raise their own child based on how they were raised. Sometimes you think you know your family, but you have no idea who they are. Because people can choose to show you a certain side of them for so long. And then when it gets to a different stage, they can switch up on you. They can change. We are like oceans. We are as deep as the ocean. The ocean is very deep. It's got a depth. And we all have a depth to us. Sometimes you only know that specific depth based on life issues, life situations. Life can switch like that. Anything can change in a split second, in a split day, even in 6 hours, 7 hours. Things can happen very quickly. So never say never. Never judge anybody, never bully people, never put people down and pick at them. Oh, you're poor. Oh, you're this, you're that. Oh, you're less than, you're this, you're that. The universe and time is so much more powerful than we are. We have no fucking control. I can tell you that. You think you have control over your life, you're delusional. Because if we had full control of our lives, bad things will not happen to us. We would be able to control what happens to us and what doesn't. We would be able to control how people treat us. We would be able to control a lot of things in life. But the only thing we can control is how we respond to the way things happen. You don't have control over whether it's going to rain tomorrow. You don't know that. It could be sunny tomorrow. Like this winter has been the hottest winter ever. It has been the hottest winter ever. Like there was only like a little bit of snow, like what, first week of December? And then now we're in 2024. January usually is like blistering cold, but now it's like, that's global warming for you. That's the universe is going through a shift. The world is going through a shift. If you think you have a job security, think again, because things are changing every day. You are not secured in anything. There is no job security in anything. The best job security you could have is to have multiple incomes, multiple jobs. Have your hand in so many things, because this world is changing. And we have to look deeper. Why are we bringing up kids that are disrespectful? Because their mother is disrespectful too. You are who you grew up with. I'm not gonna lie, you are. If you want a different result, you've got to change. You've got to look inward. What am I doing? Why am I being this way? Why is this happening this way? You need to look deep. Look within yourself. I'm not talking about your outer. I'm talking your heart within. What's going on in there? What's going on in your heart? What's going on in your mind? What kind of heart do you have? Are you compassionate? Are you empathetic? Are you caring? Are you nurturing? Who the fuck are you? Majority of people don't know who they are. And when they see someone that knows who they are, they don't like that shit. They're gonna push that person down. Like, how dare you know who you are? How dare you love yourself? How dare you be comfortable in your own skin? But that's because that person has done their work. They've done the inner work. They've done the shadow work. Shadow work is not demonic. Shadow is the other side of you that people don't see. It's the toxic side. It's the darker side. It's the side that wants to rip somebody to shreds. I'm not saying go kill people. I'm saying we all have a shadow side. We all have a side that we don't like to share or, reveal to people. We all have it. You cannot come and tell me that you don't have a shadow side, you're perfect. That's bullshit. Nobody's perfect. So, I'm going to leave it there for today. And stay tuned for part 3. Okay? Because we still have more to cover. Okay? Mwah.